General Dynamics $60 million shakedown will not work for Maine. Please contact your representatives and tell them to vote no on LD 1781.
Greetings, I'm Bob Klotz. I'm honored to be here today with Bruce Gagnon, and we're talking today about the reality of a bill before the State House, LD 1781. And I want to welcome you, Bruce, for being here.
Thank you.
And I think the best place to start is just share with us what the story is with this bill and what's been going on of late with it.
We're talking about the General Dynamics $60 million corporate welfare bill that has been introduced by Representative Jennifer DeChant from Bath. That's where I live. And her and Senator Eloise Vitelli are co-sponsoring it. Eloise Vitelli's from Arousik. This bill is very controversial across the state. There have been over 90 letters to the editor now in about 22 different papers across Maine. Every one of them, with the exception of two that are both written by BIW retired executives. But all the other letters in the papers all over the state are opposed to this corporate welfare bill for General Dynamics that they say they need to remain competitive with a shipyard in Mississippi that sits right in the middle of Hurricane Alley. And the Navy doesn't want to see Bath Iron Works close and then rely on this Ingalls shipyard in Mississippi that's very vulnerable because of climate change, right? Growing size of storms. So there's no way in the world that it's true what Bath Iron Works executives are saying, that if they don't get this $60 million from the poor, cash-strapped state of Maine, that they're going to not be competitive and they might have to shut down. That's a fear tactic. So people around the state are contacting their state senator, state representative. This bill's moving fast, could be voted on within the next week. And so we really need people to speak out. We got 43,000 children across the state of Maine living in poverty. We got roads and bridges falling apart. You said today, earlier, I heard you say that when we went to the public hearing around the tax bill, that just before us was the Department of Transportation saying they needed $60 million from the state government to fix the bridges that are deficient, 33% of them across the state, the roads that are falling apart, and other transportation needs. So between the roads and the poor people and tens of thousands without health care, there's no way in the world that Maine can afford to give $60 million to one of the richest corporations on the planet, General Dynamics.
And obviously the legislators are listening to this and hearing from their constituents that they're opposed to supporting this bill and seeing the wisdom of what you're saying, and we can't give $60 million to this company. Is that true?
That's not quite true.
Maybe a little sarcasm.
Many of the legislators are saying that it's a bad bill, and though that they feel like they have to vote for it. And so the question is, why do they say that? And it has so much to do with the fact that as it's called, the lobby in Augusta is paid for by the donations of the corporations who give money to the leadership of both parties, who then control the committee chairs, and they then push the agenda of the corporations. So this is a fight not only against General Dynamics, it's a fight against the system of corporate domination of our democracy here in Maine and beyond.
And so there's a lot more detail to this, but give us the short-term timeline here in terms of how people can engage or what you anticipate is going to happen.
Well, on Tuesday, March 6th, there's another work session, probably the final work session of the Taxation Committee in Augusta. And following that, on Thursday, March, I guess that's 9th, there's a session, an open session of the House and Senate in Augusta, and it's very possible the bill will be voted on at that time. So we need people to act quickly and soon.